Hi, boys and girls. This is Ms. Kathy. I'm so happy you've joined me today for another story just for you. God's Traveling House. Moses finally came back down Mount Sinai after spending 40 more days with God. He brought 2 new flat stones with God's rules written on them to replace the ones that were broken. And he brought something else, plans for a house for God. God wants to live right here with us, Moses told the people. He told me that we should build him a sanctuary, like a church, where his presence will always be. It will be a place where we will worship him. The people were very happy that God had forgiven them. They were excited that God wanted to live right there with them, but many were scared and confused. How can we build a house for God out here in the desert, they asked. Moses held up his hands. God told me exactly how to build his house, and every one of us needs to help. Each of you needs to bring the things that we will build with. Bring gold, silver, brass, jewels, fine soft cloth, goat hair, ram skins that are colored red, and soft leather made from animal skins. We will use all of these things to build God's house. So the people went to their tents. Each family gathered the things that they could give. When they came back, they brought so much stuff that Moses finally had to tell them to stop. Since God's people were still traveling through the desert, his house had to be built to travel also. It would be a tent made of hanging cloths and curtains. Inside there would be some very special furniture. All of it would be made to take down and carry as the Israelites continued their long journey. Moses explained God's plan for building his holy tent. It would be about 55 feet long, about 17 meters, and 18 feet wide, 5.5 meters. The roof would be 18 feet high, and 4 layers of cloth would cover it. On the inside would be a fine white cloth with pictures of angels sewn on. Next would be a cloth of goat hair, then a cloth made of red ram skins. The outside was covered by soft leather. The tent would have 2 rooms inside. The larger room, called the holy place, would have a table, an altar, and a golden lamp with 7 branches. The smaller room, called the most holy place, would have the most special thing of all, God's Ark of the Agreement. This box needed to be made of a special wood and covered with pure gold inside and out. The lid for the box would have 2 angels carved out of pure gold. It would take unusual skills to make such beautiful cloths and furniture. But God had planned for that also. Moses said, God has given extra talents to Bezalel, her grandson. He will carve the wood and do the special designs in gold and silver. He will make the special furniture. God has also given Aholiab the skills to be his helper. But Bezalel and Aholiab didn't have to work alone. God gave extra skills to many men and women who worked beside them. Together they sewed and built until all the pieces of God's traveling house were ready to put together. When they put the tent together in the middle of the camp, it was beautiful. All the people gathered around to see it, and while they were watching, the cloud that had led them through the desert, the same cloud that had covered Mount Sinai, moved over and covered the holy tent. God moved into the house they had built, just like he said he would. Now, God would live with his people.
The story you have heard today is from the Shoebox Kids Bible Stories, written by Jerry D. Thomas and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.